It's a new year, and for many families, that means new financial goals and some uncertainty ahead. So, how can you steward your finances wisely in the year ahead? To help answer that, let's bring in Stephen Cates. He's the financial analyst for bankrate.com. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Today's job report shows that hiring has slowed down, but what does that mean for your economic outlook for 2026?
So coming into 2026, we still need to get a few more months of data to really get a sense of what the economy is doing following the government shutdown. There was a lot of disruptions and distortions from that. So this December report is the first in probably a few steps towards getting away from the shadow of that shutdown. But what I think people should think about is really twofold. One, from an investment standpoint, it's still a good time to be in the market. Both growth expectations and net profit margins for U.S. stocks are still strong. If you haven't been diversified outside U.S. stocks, now's the time. International stocks did very well last year. Other alternative investments like precious metals also were quite productive. So, take a chance now to look at your investments and look at your finances and make a start to make adjustments that are going to put you on the right foot forward. For anybody who is thinking about finding a job or switching jobs, it's still a tough time. And so it's natural to feel frustrated. That should start to ease over the course of this year, but we're all going to have to be pretty patient.
Well, that's a positive thing to know that it's a good time to be in the market still. What are some specific steps families can take right now to bulletproof their budgets, especially with prices still high in key areas like groceries and rent?
For a lot of people, they're budgeting on a monthly basis. It's a lot harder to think of how to plan out your spending your income across an entire year's salary. And so because of that, we've got an interesting opportunity for anybody who gets their paycheck on the 2nd or had gotten their paycheck on the 2nd of January. You're going to get 3 paychecks this year if you get paid bi-week, or excuse me, 3 paychecks this month if you get paid bi-weekly. Anybody who gets a paycheck on the 9th, you're going to have to wait till May for that little benefit. But getting that extra paycheck is something that probably will exceed what you expected to be spending in your monthly bills. So cash that check somewhere, pay down debt, pad your emergency fund, add to your retirement savings, but utilize that money and don't spend it before you get it, because you can use that as an opportunity to take a step ahead early on in the year. Second, a lot of people are probably going to get a slightly larger tax refund this April than they got last year. So again, don't spend that money before you get it. Start to plan out ways that you can use that to take a step forward in your finances.
Great advice there.
Payment, emergency fund, whatever that's going to be, now's the time.
Great advice there. What's the biggest financial mistake you often see people making in uncertain economic times like this? And how can they avoid this in this year?
Well, there's no shortage of mistakes, but I think that for anybody who doesn't have an emergency fund, it is really essential that you put a little bit of cash away just to give you a cushion about those what ifs in life. You don't want to have an unexpected expense put you into debt on your credit cards or some kind of lending situation. That's just too simple to avoid. So putting even just a little bit of money away can give you a little bit of confidence that an emergency is just going to be an inconvenience rather than put you into credit card debt or otherwise.
Well, for people trying to grow their savings or boost their income this year, Stephen, where should they focus and what should they avoid?
So it's really tough for a lot of people now who are feeling like costs are rising and they're having to really find these extra dollars to cover rising grocery prices or other prices altogether. But the tough thing about this is that you can only cut so deeply into your expenses. And for most people, they're going to get more out of trying to figure out ways to raise their income to cover these expenses or grow their savings than they are by continuing to try to cut deeper and deeper into what they spend. The adage or the common thought that you can just skip Starbucks or avoid your avocado toast is just nonsense. Those little things are not going to suddenly allow you to do a down payment on a home or to pay for a new car. But trying to grow your income, finding ways to get additional income is going to be the best way to try to put yourself in a better financial position.
All right, some very helpful advice there. Thank you so much, Stephen Cates.
My pleasure.